Okay, guys, we're going to be talking about this buyer profile link today. If you are interested in that, it's going to be in the show description listed here on your screen. So if you have any questions, follow that link there and let's get you started. All right, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. My name is Dean Harrison. As always, I'm joined by Douglas Skipworth. How are you, buddy?
Hey, man, doing great.
We're bringing you this podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis, Tennessee. Please like and subscribe to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate on your YouTube channel, Spotify, Facebook, Apple Music Podcast, wherever you catch your podcast. Show sponsors are listed on your screen below. We would not be able to do this show, run our personal rental businesses without these guys. Triumph Construction, River City Title, Corlin Financial, Crestcore Property Management, and Will Griffin with Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer. I help buyers and sellers every day here in Memphis. Dean at Crestcore.com. If you have any questions about that, we might as well run that segue right into today's podcast.
Come on.
If you're a buyer or you're a seller in the city of Memphis, Dean at Crestcore.com is how I finish every one of these show openers. Today, we might as well just springboard right into it. We're going to talk today about what is a Crestcore Realty buyer profile link.
It's gold.
It's gold. You've had me, we've talked about it on the show. I've mentioned, I've told you that we have a buyer link. Today, I'm just going to dive into what it is. This might be a quicker podcast than normal, but I wanted to get this information in a little bit more detail. Yes. I'm going to be sending this to a lot of our clients as an email attachment. So you might get today's podcast in an email. You might get it any other way I can send it to you, maybe through socials or whatever. But the point is today is I want to talk about that, why I created that, and why we use it so much here. So my first note was, why is it important? When you work with me, I source deals all over our area in about 20 different zip codes, right? Mm-hmm. And I take a lot of pride in not sending out anything that doesn't match, our criteria, our area where I would personally buy. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when I started selling these houses several years ago, my first thought was, okay, how can I create a reputation of a good agent that sells good houses, good investment houses, and have some credibility? And my first thought was, and I stood right by it from the very beginning, is do not send out any house in any area that you wouldn't buy yourself, right?
Yes.
So, Dean, I'm thinking to myself, I don't have any houses in any area that I send out that I wouldn't buy myself if I didn't have the means, okay? So there was my first kind of thought process when I was creating, hey, how am I going to create my whole sales kind of presentation and the way I'm going to sell houses and how? So when we come down to this buyer profile link, I created this buyer profile link because we were servicing so many buyer clients.
Yes.
Okay. The fact is we have lots.
Yeah.
We closed 33 houses in November.
Congrats.
We're going to do a really good 60 plus this month. We have a seller selling a lot, but those buyers are you guys. We didn't sell.
You have a seller selling a lot, and you have buyers buying a lot.
We have buyers buying a lot. We have one package that for about 18 or 19, and the rest of those are ones and twos.
Yeah, I love it.
So those are you guys coming in and buying those properties. You guys received, if you're on my list, you received these houses from this buyer profile link. Yes. Okay. It has begun to take on like a life of its own.
Yes.
Because the best way to buy from me, to get the most quality houses and to move as quickly as you can, is to use this buyer profile link.
And the buyer profile link is what it's here. It's a link. Yep. So what happens when you click the link?
When you open up this link and I send it to you, it's going to ask you a list of about 8 or 9 questions. Okay. The first thing it's going to start off with is your price range.
Okay.
We're going to have a market rent range. If you have a specific tenant you're looking for, hey, Dean, I don't want to rent under $1,500. Okay. That's where we need to indicate that. If you have a specific area that you've studied and you haven't gone over that with me, you can indicate those zip codes there.
Okay.
There's a strategy question. Okay. If you want a BRRRR, if you're a multifamily,
turnkey,
if you're
whatever.
Turnkey,
Right.
if you're, I just want to
flip.
flip, whatever you might be looking for.
So it's a tool so they can customize their profile that then you can find them custom deals. Yeah. Deals that match what they're looking for, not just blanket.
Yeah, because the most common thing I get from buyers is, oh, no, you're putting me on a list. Like you're going to send me. No, I'm going to send you houses, but the only houses I'm sending are the ones that you tell me in this buyer link you want to receive. Okay?
I love it.
So Here's where this kind of, and I might be going off our notes a little bit here, but here's how this really works. And this is how it should work.
Yeah.
If you tell me you're ready and you're interested and you've been approved and you've got everything going and you start to receive these houses, you should be ready to start firing off offers.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the area you want to be in. It's the price range you want to be in, the rental range. It's the strategy type house. And it's something that I've already looked at and said, this will match our criteria for our buyers, right? I would buy in this area.
Yeah.
I've pulled the comps on all of these. So when you look and you click on that link and there's the market rent comps and the ARV comps, I pull those. Dean, I do. We pull those and put those links in there and send that. Now, my team puts all that together in a nice little presentation. But the important information, the comps, the ARV, the suggested offer amount, rehab estimate, come from me.
Yeah.
I do that daily. You and I laugh because even at my level in career and what I've been doing, I still do the most basic of tasks every day.
Absolutely.
And it's pulling those comps. There's a little bit about that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think to me, this is so important because you talk about it. And I always think about like those three fundamentals of like deals, financing, and then management. Management meaning how you're going to handle a property once you get it. So it's like, you put your financing in place, you figure out who you're going to do for contractors, rehab, property management, fix and flip, whatever, buying and holding, who your management is. How are you going to, so then it's all about finding deals.
Yeah.
How are you going to source deals? How are you going to see them? And that's what this tool allows you to do.
Yes.
I kind of view it, we coming off Thanksgiving. I know you're not a Thanksgiving food guy, but like I was feasting last week, right? Yeah. And so like I kind of think about the buyer profile. It's like you go out at that, I go through the buffet line when we're getting together and get some food on my plate. And first thing I do as I'm going through it is I look at all the desserts. I don't get one the first time because I'm filling up my plate, but I look.
Let's observe.
I just kind of see what's out there. And then I come back after I've eaten my meal and I get a little sampling of everything. And then when I go back, the real time is when you go back for seconds. You know what you want.
Because you've tried a little bit of everything.
And then same with going for leftovers that night. Like you only go for the dessert you want. And I kind of view the buyer profile as like you whittle it down and you see deals come across you. And you don't have to offer on these deals. You get you weed it out. You're already skipping. You're skipping ahead to like I'm only going to get the dessert I want.
Yeah.
And then I can choose it whenever I want.
Typically what happens, Douglas, is an agent, if they're sending out houses, right? If you're an investor agent and you're even doing this. So, I guess this is an opportunity to pat myself. If you're even sending out houses on a regular basis as an investor, congratulations. I don't know many that are.
No.
You're at least getting something from them, right? But what you're also getting is anything and everything.
It's like, I don't want chocolate cake.
No, I don't eat chocolate cake. I want an apple pie, right?
I want pumpkin pie.
That's right.
Pecan pie. It's Thanksgiving.
And that's what this does. This puts you way ahead. I try to do a lot of this research for you. So rolling right into that is number 3 here, or yes, one of these.
Good.
Is what's included in this? So you might say, oh, great. So fantastic. You cater the house to me. What is included with it? I'm going to go through it.
It's detailed. Amazing. Yeah. No, this is like, it's amazing.
I'm doing a lot of the breakdown for you initially, right?
Because you're an investor.
Because
that's
I'm
the
an
difference
investor.
between you and another agent or a wholesaler.
Yeah.
What does a wholesaler send out? A 3-2 in this zip code.
I need $100,000 for it.
And you're like,
what else is there to it?
I want
what all
address, bedroom.
We run it down. It's the full address, bed and bath count, square feet. We're going to come with your taxes, exact taxes, because we can get those. We're going to have ARV comps, which are after your rehab value comps that I pull. Market rent comps that you're going to see the area and specific houses and what they rented for. You're going to have a suggested offer amount. I'm going to give you an offer. What else do we include in there?
You can have a link to map.
The link to the map that's on there.
You can have link to photos.
Yep.
If it's an ML listing, you can have a link to the MLS listing.
Yes. The breakdown of the podcast. So let's say it was a house in 38118. You're going to we've broken all these down to where you're going to get the link for 38118 from the zip code breakdown podcast. So you can educate yourself as I'm sending these to you. There's no requirement. You don't have to. There's no obligation. This is free. You just need to be put on the list so you can start seeing kind of what we're
you're seeing deals
that breaking down.
Match
That's right.
Your criteria.
Deals that match your criteria.
I always just want to say that I mean, if you get on anybody else's list, you'll immediately see what a difference it makes.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're a real buyer. Because if you're a real buyer, these are the things you're gonna. Where's the map? What's the photos look like? What's the rehab estimate? How much is it gonna rent for? What's the zip code?
If I get a question 3 times, it goes on there.
Correct. I mean, that's why it's gotten to be gold.
Yeah.
So again, you're gonna separate yourself with that email, but then I think you do 2 things that put you far and beyond anybody else, and that is, you make a recommendation of what somebody should offer.
Yep.
Which
a lot of people don't do that.
Nobody does. I'm on a bunch of distribution emails, and they don't say, please offer this.
Yeah.
You say, they say, here's the asking price.
Yes.
Or OBO.
And here's what I think you should put.
But you say, here's what you should offer.
Yeah.
And you give them the next step. Mm-hmm. If you want to make an offer, here's what you do next. So again, I'm thinking a distribution list. I get address, price.
And that's it. So once you've gone through all this information that I've given you, and that you should be able to fully evaluate a house, you might have a few other specific questions, but you should be able to almost fully evaluate it.
Yes.
At the very bottom, right below, there's a set of instructions on how to make an offer.
Here's my recommendation, and here's what your next step.
There's 6 questions that you've got to answer.
Yes.
We need your name and how you're buying it, and
your offer, title, your offer amount,
all of that stuff that you would expect.
Closing firm.
You send an email. There's 2 of my assistants, Monica and Julius. You send an email with copy and paste those questions. You answer those quick questions and send an email to them and copy me. Usually within a couple of hours, you'll have the fully offer written, sent to you via dot loop in your email to sign.
Click and sign.
Once you sign that offer, it automatically comes right back to me. I then submit it to our listing agent or our wholesaler or whoever our property source might be and negotiate the deal for you. Hopefully, get that thing under contract, and we continue on with the rest of our process, which is inspecting and then closing. But today we're talking about that buyer link. You can go from, waking up in the morning and not even speaking to me after we've talked and we've gotten going, and you're familiar with me in the program, and now you're looking at houses. You can go from waking up in the morning and you can have an offer written, submitted, and under contract by the end of the day. You and I can jump on the phone at the end of the day and talk about how great it is.
Yes.
The system is set up. If you're your first-time investor, this is your first offer you've ever made, you might not want to go through this process. I'm fine with admitting that, right? You might want to have me hold your hand and let's answer some questions, and I'm still going to guide you through this, but I'll talk with you through it. After the first time, it's seamless. And by the way, in our market, this is one thing I want to add about making that offer. A lot of people, when you equate making an offer in residential real estate, owner-occupant real estate, man, you're in. You fall in love with the house. You've been in it. Your family's in it. You picked out little Johnny's room and little Susie's room, and y'all put your kitchen count, all the stuff that you would do when you buy a home, the emotional part of it. You sink your teeth into it, and then you make an offer. It happens. I've done it. That's how it works.
Oh, sure.
This is way different.
Totally different.
We can get out of this thing with no problem. We have inspection contingencies that we put in there, loan contingencies we put in there. I can get right out of this deal. So fire off offers. Now, don't fire off 50 cents on the dollar offers. That's a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah.
But if you're competitive with offers, I'll fire off as many as we need to in order to get the right deal. So I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm making an offer. I just bought a house. We're 10 miles from buying the house. If you decide to make an offer from one of my emails, you've got plenty of time.
And we talked about this, the way you've set it up so that when you get comfortable with that process, whether you can get comfortable on your initial deal or your second deal or your 10th deal, whatever, I think it'd be before your 10th, but you can get comfortable making offers.
Yes.
You and I know we've talked to essentially children.
Yeah.
I mean, teenagers.
Yes.
Who get
use
your
this
email and make offers and get things under contract and inspect it. And then if it's a great deal for them, great. And if it's not,
that's right.
They just move on. They cancel the contract and move on. And it's okay. It's okay to cancel contracts.
Look, I tell every month, this is, I think this is important. We close, 20 to 27, average every month, somewhere in that ballpark.
One a day.
I cancel 8 to 10 every month. And I'm not afraid to tell you that. Some people in the city, actually, this is a great point. Some people in this market in the city use that against me. The agents and other people will use that I'll cancel deals. Little do they know what a thank you Yes, I do cancel deals. I'm not afraid to tell my clients and my buyers that this is no longer a deal.
Yeah.
No longer a deal. We can't make it work. Let's cancel. I'd much rather have that reputation than have a reputation of selling houses to somebody that they shouldn't have bought, or something went wrong that made this no longer a deal, or what have you. So yes, fire off those offers. We'll cancel them if it doesn't work out, right? Now, but here I want to back up into the first part. But remember, the first part of this email and the buyer link that once we start sending you these emails is a house that you've already told me has the right area, the right price, the right rental range, the location, everything that you're looking for. Now, that doesn't mean they're all going to be winners. We're going to get in there and inspect it, and something's not going to be right. You know, I estimated the rehab of $15,000. We get out there and it's $25,000. We're going to need a price reduction, or we're going to need something to happen. That you can cancel a deal over that too, because it's no longer a deal, right? But I want the main point of this today, you know, and then my last note, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. But of those 20 to 27 that we sell every month, half of these are probably a little more are sold through this buyer profile link. That's why, as a salesperson, everyone hates a salesperson, but as a salesperson, I come on here and I talk about that buyer profile link, because people are getting deals and closing houses through that link.
That's how, I mean, you say salesperson, I think of like, you're bringing me what I want. Yes. I'm getting it, and then you're getting a fee for helping me get what I want.
And like, this is the system and process to get that, that great house.
And last time I checked, you don't get a fee for anything else.
Nothing.
Like, you can send me those all day long. I can write up offers all day long. I cancel.
Yeah. Yes.
And you don't get paid unless I get what I want.
That's exactly right. And that's one reason why I've set this up this way. I want to be very specific and very intentional with each one of my investors. The motto I took from the very beginning, and it's obviously no longer like this, but I wanted every investor to feel like they were my only client.
Yeah.
And the way I could do this in a mass production or a casting a much larger net to do that was this. I'm catering a mini program around what you as an investor are looking for.
Well, and I think you've automated the tactical, maybe, that just the day-to-day stuff, but you're still very high touch on the things that need to be high touch on.
That's right.
You just said, I'll get on the phone and talk you through this.
That's right.
But as far as pulling comps and sending information and looking at photos and mapping it and podcasting, it's like, that's all, they can do that on their own time, convenient. Yeah. Click of a button.
So wrapping this up, I knew this one would be a little bit quicker, but I wanted to get this out, how to use this tool to not only just buy houses through me, but to educate yourself. Because I did, if you remember, one of the things is you get the zip code breakdown on every one. You can learn as you're vetting these houses and as you're building your own criteria of what you want to buy.
I mean, again, if you're just starting, what I recommend to everybody who's just starting is to fill out the buyer profile, get on the list, look at those emails every day, because you're going to get very familiarized with the whole process, as well as the values, the rent, the comp values, the rent values, the estimates, the rehab estimates. You're going to learn so much just by getting those emails.
That's right.
And then by making offers, you're going to learn even more, so that then it comes time to value for it's amazing.
I can't tell how many clients I've had that have gotten the emails for a couple of months and then finally bought. And then now they're one every 2 or 3 months type of guys. Gals. So thanks for your time on this one. This one was great. Appreciate you guys listening. Dean at Crestcore.com to get that buyer profile link. I'll get it sent to you. We've tried all kinds of technology ways, QR code and emailing and links, whatever. I'll get it to you. We'll make sure you get set up. Thanks again. Dean at Crestcore.com. Bye.